Welcome to my channel. I hope you like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet these little overalls or dungarees for baby boys and girls between 3 and 6 months old using the Crystal Waves crochet stitch pattern. I made them to match the little cardigan sweater and baby hat that I already showed you in my channel. In the information box below, you will find the links to those tutorials, and in the information box below, you will also find some information on how you can make them smaller or bigger from 0 to 3 months and up to 24 months. So be sure to check that out. And as always, if you prefer written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box below as well. Thank you so much for your support. Now, to make these little overalls for 3 to 6 months size, I used super soft baby double knit James Seabread. I used a total of 144 grams, and I used pink and white. Now, you can also use any number 3 yarn or a ply. Now, stay tuned. In another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the matching baby blanket. Okay, so let's get started, but don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell to all notifications so that YouTube can recommend my videos. And if you like this tutorial, please hit that like button. Okay, to begin, I'll be using this 3mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this DK weight yarn. Now I'm going to be using 2 colors, pink and white. The main color is going to be white, but I'm going to start with this pink color. Now, at the beginning of the video, I showed you the yarn that I'm using, and I told you how much yarn you're going to need for this size. So here, to continue, I have 86 chains. This chain here, without stretching or anything, it's measuring about 15.75 inches, which is about 40 centimeters. Now, if you're off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Just continue with the first row. So here, to start with the first row, into the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into this 4th chain here, I'm going to make a double crochet. Now, these 3 chains here counts as 1 double crochet, so I have 2 in total. I am going to make 8. So into the next chain, make a double crochet. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 double crochets, including the 3 chains, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now into the next chain, I'm going to make my first corner. So in this row, the corners are going to consist of V stitches. So make a double crochet, 2 chains, and then 1 double crochet into this same chain. Now into the next 24 chains, I'm going to make 1 double crochet. So into the next chain, make a double crochet. Now continue until you have 24 double crochets. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 24 double crochets. Now this here is one of the sleeves. Now into the next chain here, make the second corner. So make a V stitch, double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Now into the next 16 chains, we're going to make 1 double crochet. This here is going to be the front or the back. So I'm going to make 16 double crochets. Finish, I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 16 double crochets, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Now into the next chain, we're going to make our 3rd corner. So make your V stitch, double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Now into the next 24 chains, I'm going to make 1 double crochet. So beginning into the next chain, make your first double crochet and continue until you have 24 double crochets. This is going to be the second sleeve. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 24 double crochets for the second sleeve. Now into the next chain here, make the 4th corner. So make a V stitch. Now I have 8 chains left, so make 1 double crochet on each one of these chains until we finish this first row. I will meet you at the end. I finished making these last 8 double crochets. At the end of this first row, you should have a total of 88 double crochets, including the double crochets for the corners and the 3 chains here at the beginning. So that's a total of 88 double crochets. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now this chain never counts as a stitch. Here, to begin the second row, into the first double crochet through both loops, make a single crochet. Now I'm going to make single crochets on each one of these double crochets, but I'm going to go through the back loop only. So into the next, make a single crochet, into the next, and so on. Here, let's see, I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I have the first corner into this chain 2 space, and into each one of the remaining corners you're going to make 2 single crochets, chain 2, 2 single crochets. Now make sure to put a stitch marker here. And now continue along and do the same thing for these double crochets. So beginning into this next double crochet through the back loop right there, make a single crochet, and into each one of these double crochets until you come to the second corner, where you're going to do exactly the same thing I did. 2 single crochets, 2 chains, 2 single crochets, and continue along and do the same thing for each corner until you finish the second row. I will meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of the second row. Here at the end into the third chain, I did my last single crochet. At the end of the second row, I have a total of 104 single crochets. From here on, we're going to be increasing 16 stitches at the end of each row, because on each corner we make 4 stitches. So 4 times 4, that's 16. Now for the third row, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. These 2 chains do not count. In this row, I'm going to start with a double crochet on top of the first single crochet, and from here on I'm going to work a double crochet, but I'm going to go through the back loop only until I come to the first corner. So here I have, that's 3, 11 double crochets. Remove this stitch marker, and into this chain 2 space, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Now here you can easily see the chain 2 space here of this corner, but I'm going to still continue putting my stitch marker right there. Now this is how you're going to work each one of the corners, and for the single crochets in between, you're just going to work 1 double crochet through the back loop only, like this, until you come to the next corner, where you're going to do exactly the same thing on each one. Now at the end of this third row, you should have a total of 120 double crochets. So I will meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have a total of 120 double crochets. Now for the fourth row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. In this fourth row, we're going to make single crochet. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, through both loops, make a single crochet. Now into the remaining double crochets, I'm going to make single crochets, but I'm going to go through the back loop only until I come to the first corner. So here I have 4, 13 single crochets. Now into this corner and into each one of the corners, you're just going to work 2 single crochets, 2 chains, 2 single crochets, and then continue on making single crochets through the back loop of each one of these double crochets, and then do the same thing on each corner. Don't forget to return your stitch marker here to mark the center of this corner. Now at the end of this 4th row, you're going to have 136 single crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this 4th row. I'm here at the end of the 4th row. I have a total of 136 single crochets. Now for the 5th row, chain 2 and turn. Now in this row we're going to make double crochet, so beginning on top of the first single crochet through both loops, make a double crochet. Now into these remaining single crochets through the back loop, I'm going to make a double crochet until I come to the first corner. So here I have 4 double crochets. $15 double crochets. Now we have the first corner. Remove your stitch marker and into this chain 2 space, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. And this is how you're going to work each corner from here on as well. Now continue and work 1 double crochet through the back loop of each one of these single crochets until you come to the next corner, where you're just going to do exactly the same thing that I did here in this corner. At the end of this 5th row, you should have a total of 152 double crochets. I will meet you at the end of this 5th row. I'm here at the end of the 5th row. I have a total of 152 double crochets. Now for the 6th row, chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first double crochet through both loops, make a single crochet. Now into each one of these remaining double crochets through the back loop only, make a single crochet until you come to the first corner. So here I have 4 single crochets. $17 single crochets. Here's the first corner. Remove the stitch marker into this chain 2 space, make 2 single crochets, 2 chains, 2 single crochets. And this is how you're going to work each one of the corners. And then for the double crochets, you're just going to continue and do the same thing. A single crochet through the back loop of each one of these double crochets until you finish this 6th row. At the end of this 6th row, you're going to have a total of 168 single crochets. Continue. I will meet you at the end. Okay, I finished making the 6th row. In that row we did single crochets. I have a total of 168 single crochets. Now what we're going to do next is divide the sleeves. So this is what we're going to do, but before, let me tell you how many stitches I have for each section. Each one of the front panels has 19 single crochets and 19 single crochets. For each one of the sleeves, this part here, it has 46 stitches, and then here for the front I have 38. So 38 for the front, 46 for each one of the sleeves, and 19 for each one of the panels. So here to continue, this is going to be the first row because we're going to divide the sleeves. To begin here, chain 2 and turn. Beginning on top of the first single crochet through both loops, make a double crochet. Now into each one of these remaining single crochets through the back loop, make a double crochet until you come to the first corner. So here I have 2, 4, 19 double crochets for this front panel. Remove the stitch marker and into this chain space here of the first corner, make 2 double crochets. That's 1 and 2. There. So now this front panel has 21 double crochets. Now to divide the first sleeve, we're going to chain 8. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. we're going to skip 46 double crochets, and into the second corner, into the chain space here, make 2 double crochets. Now, if you want to add more chains here under the sleeve, you can. The only thing is that when we finish this first row, it needs to be in multiples of 4. Now, we're going to continue along and work 1 double crochet through the back loop only of each one of these single crochets until we come to the third corner. Then I'm going to meet you here to show you how we're going to separate the second sleeve. Finish making these double crochets for the front here. I did 38 double crochets plus these 2, that's 38, 39, 40, and then here in this third corner I did 2 double crochets. So here I have 42 double crochets for this section here. Now to separate the second sleeve, chain 8. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now skip these 46 double crochets, and into the fourth corner here make 2 double crochets. That's 1 and 2. Now continue along and finish these last 19 double crochets here. So I will meet you at the end of this first row. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where we have divided the sleeves. Now this row is done. You should have a total of 100 stitches at the end of this row. So each one of the panels here has 21 and 21. For the front side or the back side, this here has 42 stitches, and under each sleeve you should have 8. So that's a total of 100 stitches at the end of this first row. Now for the second row, I'm going to use this white yarn. So I'm going to turn here, and I'm going to go right on top of this last double crochet. I'm going to grab a loop here, bring it through, and I'm going to chain 1. Now into this same stitch here, which is the first double crochet, make a single crochet. Now into each one of these double crochets, make a single crochet as well. And once you get here to the chains, you're just going to make 1 single crochet on each chain, and then continue along and finish this second row. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of the second row. This is where we did single crochets. I have a total of 100 single crochets. Now for the third row, chain 1 and turn. Now in this third row, we're going to begin the pattern. I'm going to use my Crystal Waves crochet stitch. So to begin here, on top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet. Now into the second single crochet, make a single crochet, chain 2, and right into this same stitch here, the second single crochet, make 3 double crochets. Now skip 1 and into the next, which is the fourth single crochet. If you count from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, make a single crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochets. Now for the remaining single crochets up to the last 4 single crochets at the end of the third row, this is what we're going to do. We're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth, make a single crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth, make another shell, so single crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochets. This is how you're going to continue to the end. You're just going to skip 3, and into the fourth you're going to make your shell. I will meet you right here 4 stitches before we finish to show you how we're going to finish this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. Up to here I have 25 shells. I still have 4 single crochets left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here at the end I'm going to make one last shell. So I'm going to skip 1 single crochet, and into the second or into the next I'm going to make a single crochet, 2 chains, and right into the same stitch here make 3 double crochets. I want to make sure that I finish with an even number of shells here so that when we divide the legs, it's much easier. So now I have 26 shells to finish into the last single crochet here, make a single crochet. And this is how I finished the third row with 26 shells. Now for row 4, chain 1 and turn. Now this is the row that we're going to repeat from here on. This is a 1 row repeat, so you're going to start with a single crochet on top of this single crochet. Now we have the first shell, we have 3 double crochets and a chain 2 space. Into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space of this same shell, make 3 double crochets. And that's all. Again, we have the second shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and into the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. This is how you're going to continue to the end of this 4th row. At the end of this 4th row, you're going to have 26 shells as well. I'll meet you at the end of this 4th row to show you how to finish this row and how to start the next, since from here on you're just going to continue on your own. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. I have a total of 26 shells. Now to finish here at the end, just go into this single crochet here at the end and make a single crochet. You should have a total of 26 shells at the end of each row from here on. Now for the next row, you're just going to chain 1 and turn, beginning on top of the first single crochet. You make a single crochet. So if you notice, you always end with a single crochet and you always start with a single crochet. And then on each one of the shells, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. We have the next shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. And that's all you're going to do here for the rest of this row. To finish, remember, you're going to make a single crochet here at the end, chain 1, turn, make a single crochet, and then start the next row exactly how I just showed you. Now I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here from here on, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. Okay, I finished this part here. I have done a total of 23 rows. So from here up to here, there's 23 rows, and it's measuring from the top of the shoulder to the end of the last row. It's measuring about 29.5 centimeters, which is about 11.5 inches. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to make single crochets along this front panel. So to do this here, here's the last row. Make sure that when you do this part here, you are on the right side. So this here is the right side. This here is the inside of the little sweaters. So here to continue, we're going to chain 1. Now here at the end, I have this last single crochet. Here I'm going to make 2 single crochets. Now for this part here, I'm going to work 1 single crochet on each one of these single crochets for each row. So into the next row here, make a single crochet into the next row, single crochet into the next, and so on. Now for this part here, we have 23 rows, so I'm going to have 23 plus 1, so 24 single crochets here, because into this first single crochet I did 2, so I'm going to have 24. Then into this row of single crochets, make 1, and then here for the yoke we have double crochets, chain 1, double crochets, chain 1s. Into the double crochet, make 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1 here where we have the chains. I will meet you up here and I'll tell you how many single crochets I have, and then we're going to work the second row. I finished making these single crochets along this front panel. Now I have a total of 37 single crochets up to this last row of chains. If you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay. The important thing here is that when you do the second front panel, you make the same number of single crochets. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now here, beginning on top of this first single crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the second single crochet, work a front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, into the next front post half double crochet, and so on. This is all we're going to do for this second row. Now make sure that you make these half double crochets nice and loose. So continue, I'll meet you at the end of the second row. I'm here at the end of the second row. This is where I did front post and back post half double crochets. Now here at the end, on top of the last single crochet, make a half double crochet. And this is how I finished the second row with 37 stitches. Now make sure that this part here is nice and straight. If you notice that this part here is shrinking a bit, just go ahead and use a slightly bigger hook size, maybe a 3.5mm hook. For me, since I did these half double crochets nice and loose, I don't have that issue. So now for the third row, I'm going to chain one and turn. Here we're going to do the same thing. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now the next stitch here is a back post, so make a back post half double crochet. Into the next front post half double crochets, into the next back post half double crochet, and so on. Continue like this to the end here. I will meet you here to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this third row. This is where I did front post and back post half double crochets. On top of the last half double crochet here, make a half double crochet. I have 37 stitches here. Now, if you notice, I did not make any buttonholes. Buttonholes for girls go on this side, buttonholes for boys go on this side. So what I'm going to do here is the spaces in between the rows of half double crochets are big enough for buttons to fit through. Continue watching. I will let you know what size buttons I'm going to use. Normally I use 9, 10, 11, or even 12mm size buttons, but I'll let you know at the end what size buttons I'm going to use. So now we're going to continue along the neckline, making front post and back post half double crochets. Once we get here to this side, we're going to repeat the same thing we did here. So here to start the neckline, we're going to chain one. Here at the end into this half double crochet space, make a half double crochet. Into the next row, make a half double crochet, and into the third row, which is the first row of single crochets, make a half double crochet. So here I have 3 half double crochets. Now I'm going to go into this next double crochet for this front panel here, and I'm going to make a front post half double crochet. Into the next back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, and so on. Now this is all I'm going to do here all around the neckline, front post and back post half double crochets. So continue like this. I will meet you at this other end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the neckline. Now here at the end we have these chains, so right into the second chain, make your last half double crochet. And this part here is done. I have a total of 90 stitches. Again, if you're off by 1 or 2 stitches, it's okay, just continue. Now what we're going to do here is single crochets. For the first row here of the second front panel, you're going to do exactly the same thing we did here, these 3 rows. So I'm going to start you off and then you're going to finish the rest. So here you're going to chain 1, and then right into this last half double crochet that I did, I'm going to make a single crochet. Now into the next row, which is chain 3 here at the end, make 2 single crochets. Into the next row is a row of single crochets, make 1, then 2, there. Now we have this row of single crochets, make 1. Now here along the edge here, we're going to make 1 single crochet at the end of each row. Here the important thing is that when you finish here at the end, you have 37 stitches, or however many stitches you had when you did the first front panel. So continue, finish the first row. For rows 2 and 3, you're going to chain 1, turn, and then work front post and back post half double crochets, exactly how we did it here on the first front panel. So finish this part. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the third row for this second front panel. Now here at the end, on top of the last stitch, I'm going to make a half double crochet. And here is the third row. The front panel is done. So we finished both front panels here. So this facing me would be the left side and this would be the right side. Now what we're going to do here is join both front panels and then continue with row 24 here on the wrong side. So to do this here, at the end of this front panel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain one, and right into this half double crochet space I'm going to make a slip stitch. This is so that my yarn is right here, right in the middle of this last stitch. So what I'm going to do here is, because this little outfit is for baby girls, I'm going to put my left front panel on top of the right front panel, right there like this. If it's for boy, you're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to join here. So hold both front panels like this, and here for this left side we have the row of single crochets. So right here we have the row of single crochets and then 2 rows of half double crochet. So right into this row of single crochets for this left front panel. So now grab a loop here. This is the last loop that I have here for the right front panel. Pull it through, chain one, insert your hook back into these same stitches through the single crochet and through the half double crochet here at the end, and grab a loop and make a single crochet, chain one. Now we're going to turn for row 24 here. This is the continuation. So right into this same space, or into these same stitches, this is the half double crochet space and this is the single crochet space. Here make 3 double crochets. Here I'm going to be adding 2 extra shells at the end of this 24th row. So here's the first increase. So here I need to make 1 more double crochet. So here's the first shell. Now here at the end I'm going to make the next one, but for now you're just going to continue all around. We have the first shell here, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. Now this part here is the same of how we've been working the stitch pattern. So continue all around, finish this 24th row. I will meet you right here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 24th row. Here's my last shell. Up to here I have 27 shells, including this one here that we added at the beginning. Now to finish here, I'm going to add 1 more shell. So to do this, I'm going to go right into this row of single crochets for this front panel, and I'm also going to insert my hook through this front panel that's on top, and I'm going to join here this end by making a single crochet here. Now chain 2, and right into this same space here make 3 double crochets. So here's the last shell here. Now to finish this row, we're going to go into the same space here where I did the first shell. So right into that stitch space right there, make a single crochet. And here is row 24 with a total of 28 shells. Here in this row we added 2 extra shells, this one here and this one here. Now for row 25 we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now beginning into this first shell here, we have the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and right into the chain 2 space here make 3 double crochets. Now we have the second shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space 3 double crochets. Now here you're just going to continue with the stitch pattern all around. At the end of this 25th row, we're going to have 28 shells. I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this 25th row. Here's my last shell. Now to finish here, we're going to go to the side where we have this chain space, and in there make a slip stitch. And here is row 25 with a total of 28 shells. And this is how it looks. Now, if you notice, I also went ahead and added these buttons. These are 10mm size buttons. I purchased these buttons from Hobby Lobby, and I added 4. Now, what I'm going to do here is we're going to divide the legs. So first we're going to divide here the crotch, and then we're going to go here and make one of the legs first. So to do this, to divide the legs, we have 28 fans. So I've marked 2 fans here for the center. These are the 2 fans that we made when we joined the front panel. So these 2 here. So put a stitch marker into the chain 2 space of this shell and after the 3 double crochet, so put a stitch marker there. Now for this leg, we're going to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 shells. Then for the back side, I've marked 2 shells as well. And for the second leg, same thing, 12 shells. So make sure that you put these stitch markers in the same way. So 2 shells for the front, 2 shells for the back. So to do this part here, we're going to divide the crotch first. So to do this, here we're going to chain 2 and turn. Here we have this first shell, we have 3 double crochets. Here make 3 front post double crochets. Now into the single crochet here, work a front post double crochet as well. So here we have 4 double crochets. Now to divide the first leg, chain 1. I'm going to skip 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 of these shells, and right into the next shell, which is this one here where I have the stitch marker. I'm going to work a front post double crochet into this single crochet right there. Now we have the next 3 double crochets, work 3 front post double crochets. Now we have the next single crochet here, make a front post double crochet, and into these last 3 double crochets, make 3 front post double crochets. Now we have the next single crochet here, make a front post double crochet. So here for the back side, I have, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 double crochets, chain 1, skip these 12 shells. So now turn, and right into this single crochet right here, make a front post double crochet, and into the next 3 double crochets, make 3 front post double crochets, so that here you also have 9 double crochets. Let's see, we have 1 plus 3, that's 4. I just need to work 1 more here, 5. And then we have 6 7 8 9. Perfect. To finish, just go on top of the first double crochet and join with a slip stitch. Cut your yarn and pass your yarn through this last loop. Now make sure that you leave a nice long tail here. I think I cut my yarn too short. Now you're just going to join these stitches here with the opposite side so that this part here is closed. You can do this once the legs are done. So this part is done. That's how it looks. So now we're going to go here to this side. Now this is the back side. So on the left side, we're going to work this first leg, and we're going to go right under the chain space. So insert your hook right there, grab a loop here, chain 1. Now right into this space here, we're going to make 3 double crochets. 1 2 3. Here we're going to be adding an extra stitch, and this row, the first row for the leg, I'm going to work this row from the wrong side out because the last row, row 25, I worked from the right side. So this next row needs to be worked on the wrong side since we're going to continue with the pattern here for the leg, but we're only going to be working with these 12 shells here plus the one that we're going to add here. So now to continue, I have the next shell here, so right into the first shell, into the second double crochet here, work a front post single crochet. Now if you notice there is a gap here, and if you don't want to leave that gap, what you can do is the following. We're going to make a double crochet decrease. So let me show you. You're going to yarn over and right into this double crochet right here, find the leg. What I mean by the leg is like right here we did the front post double crochet, so right here through this space right in the center of the double crochet, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook. Now go into the first shell here for the leg and into the second double crochet here, work a front post single crochet where you close through these 3 loops, and that way there's no gap, and that's how it would look here on the right side. Now chain 2 and into the chain 2 space here, make 3 double crochets. From here on the pattern is the same, front post single crochet into the second double crochet, 2 chains, and into the chain 2 space, 3 double crochets. And this is how we're going to continue for this first row. So I will meet you right here. This is the last shell to show you how we're going to finish the first row for the first leg. I'm here at the end of this first row for the first leg. Now here's my last shell. Up to here I have 13, including this one here that we did at the beginning. Now to finish here, I'm going to do the same thing I did here. I'm going to make a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, go into the middle of this double crochet right here, which is part of the crotch area here, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook. Now go here to the side where we have this chain, so right here, and join with a slip stitch and close through these 3 loops. And this is how I finished the first row with 13 shells. Now for the second row, chain 1, turn. Now here we have the first shell, into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, chain 2, and right into this chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. Now here the pattern is the same. 3 double crochets, front post single crochet into the second double crochet of the next shell, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into the chain 3 space. Continue like this for this second row. I will meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this second row. Up to here I have 12 shells. Now here in the center where we added this extra shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet. Now to finish this row, I'm going to go directly into the chain space here where we started the first row. So right there, join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the second row with a total of 12 shells. The first row was the only row that we had 13 shells. So in this second row, I've decreased that shell here in the middle. So now we're going to continue with 12 shells. I decided to do this because I noticed that the leg here is a bit too wide. So the second row is done. I have 12 shells. Now for the third row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Here we have the first shell, which is the last shell that I did in the last row, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and right into the chain 2 space here, make 3 double crochets. Now this part here is the same. Front post single crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochets into the chain 2 spaces. Continue like this all around. I'm going to meet you at the end of this third row to show you once again how to start and how to finish each row from here on with 12 shells. I'm here at the end of this third row. Here's my last shell. This is shell number 12. Now to finish here, remember to start the row, we chain 1 and then make the front post. So into this chain 1 space, you join with a slip stitch. Now to start the row, you chain 1 and turn, and then make a front post single crochet into the second double crochet of the first shell, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. And this is all you're going to do to continue for the rest. Now, I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue, I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I'm almost done with the first leg. I have done a total of 18 rows. So from here up to here, I have 18 rows, and it's measuring about 13 centimeters, which is about 5 inches. Now, if you want to make the legs longer, you can. For the size that we're making, I think that it's fine. We still need to add about 2 inches more here. So this is what we're going to do now. Like I said, I did 18 rows. So for row 19 here, I'm going to chain 2. And right here we have this first single crochet. So work a front post double crochet. Now we have the next 3 double crochets into the next back post double crochet, into the next front post double crochet, into the next back post double crochet. Now skip this single crochet and go into the next 3 double crochets and make a front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and so on. Here we're going to be skipping these single crochets, and we're just going to work front post and back post double crochets into the shells of each one of these 3 double crochets. So like this. So you're just going to work front post and back post double crochets into the double crochets of this shell. Now continue like this all around, front post and back post double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this 19th row. I finished row 19. Here to finish, I just joined to the first front post double crochet with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through this last loop. At the end of this 19th row, I had 37 stitches. Now I'm going to change yarn color, that's why I cut my yarn, but if you're not going to change yarn color, then all you have to do is just chain 1. Now to join, just go here where we joined to finish the 19th row on top of the first stitch, grab a loop here, chain 1. Now for about 3 or 4 rows, this is what we're going to do. Beginning into this first stitch, which is the first front post double crochet, I'm going to make a front post half double crochets. Here we're going to make half double crochets. So the next one back post, next one front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. Here you're just going to work these stitches exactly how they are. Front post and back post half double crochets. Now I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here, but all I'm going to do is just repeat the same thing. To finish each row, you're just going to go here on top of the first stitch, join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing. Continue watching. I will let you know how many rows I'm going to do here, so I will meet you at the end of that row. And remember, at the end of each row, you're going to always have 37 stitches. So continue. I'll meet you at the end of that row. I finished making this part. I did a total of 3 rows here with pink. At the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. Continue watching. I'll leave you the finished measurements towards the end of the video. Now we're going to make the other side here. So to start, we're going to go right under the leg. Right here where we have this chain, insert your hook. Now this first row here for the second leg is going to be worked from the wrong side out. So grab a loop here, chain 1, and right into this same space here, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we have the first fan here out of the 12. What I'm going to do here is, so that there is no gap between this one and this one, I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go right in the middle of this double crochet. This here is part of the crotch area, so just insert your hook right there, right in the middle, or you can go into the space. I'm just going to go through the double crochet, grab a loop, take 2 loops off. Now into the second double crochet of this first shell, make a front post single crochet where you close through these 3 loops, and that way there is no gap there, and you already have your front post single crochet. So now chain 2, and into this chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. From here on, the pattern is the same. You just make a front post single crochet into the second double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. Now continue like this all around for this first row. For the second leg, I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row for the second leg. Now up to here I have my last shell. I have 13 shells, including this one here in the center that we added. Now here, before we finish, we're going to make a double crochet decrease so that there's no gap between this first one and the last shell. So right in the middle of this double crochet, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook. Now go right into this chain that we did at the beginning, right there, and insert your hook, grab a loop, and join with a slip stitch. And now this row here is done with a total of 13 shells. For the second row, chain 1, turn. Now here we have the first shell, which is the last shell I did before I finished the first row. Into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space, 3 double crochets. And from here on, you're just going to continue with the pattern. Front post single crochet into the second double crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. Now continue like this all around for the second row. For the second leg, here at the end, we're going to decrease this shell that we did here so that we can continue with 12 shells instead of 13. So I will meet you here at the end of the second row to show you how we're going to do that. I'm here at the end of the second row. For the second leg, up to here I have 12 shells. Now I still have one last one, this one here in the center that we added, so I'm going to decrease because from here on I'm going to continue with only 12 shells. So to do this, I'm going to insert my hook into the second double crochet like this, and I'm going to make a front post single crochet, but I'm not going to close it. I have 2 loops on the hook. Now I'm going to go into the chain here to the side and join with a slip stitch, and I close this single crochet like this, and that decreases that stitch there. And now I have 12 shells at the end of this second row. Now for the third row, chain 1 and turn. Here, beginning into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space, work 3 double crochets. Now this row is worked exactly how we did the second row. The only thing is that we're going to have 12 shells. So continue like this for this third row. I will meet you here at the end to once again show you how to finish and how to start each row from here on so that you can continue with the second leg. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have 12 shells. Now to finish each row, you're just going to go here to the side where we have this chain and join with a slip stitch. Now to start each row, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we have the first shell into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space, 3 double crochets. From here on, the pattern continues in the same way. Now to finish, you're just going to join here to the side where we have the chain with a slip stitch, chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Here you're going to do exactly the same thing we did for the first leg. You're going to make 18 rows counting from the very beginning, and then you're going to make 1 row here of front post and back post double crochets, and then you're going to make 3 rows in the second color of front post and back post half double crochets. And that's how you're going to continue here for the second leg. So finish this side and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the second leg, so this part here is all done. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go here to the sleeves. So I'm going to work 1 row here, and this is more of a decorative row. This is so that this part here looks a lot nicer. So this is what I'm going to do, and it's optional. You can leave it like this, but let me show you what I'm going to do. Right here, right under the sleeve, right in the middle, right there, this is where we added these extra stitches. So right in the middle, grab a loop here, bring it through, chain 3. Now this row is going to be worked from the wrong side, so now I'm going to skip 1 stitch and into the next, make a slip stitch, chain 3, skip 1 stitch and into the next, make a slip stitch, chain 3. So this here is going to put me right into the first single crochet here for the sleeve. Make a slip stitch, chain 3, skip 1 single crochet and into the next, slip stitch, chain 3, skip 1 single crochet and into the next, slip stitch, chain 3, skip 1 single crochet and into the next, make a slip stitch, and so on. This is how you're going to continue all around the sleeve. This is how it looks once it's done. Let me show you. It's got these little scallop edge here all around, so that's how I'm going to continue to finish. I'm just going to join here to the first right here where I grab the loop with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and then pass my yarn through that last loop, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing here for the other side. So finish this part and then I'll come back and show you how to close here. Okay, I finished making this side here at the end. I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, passed my yarn through that last loop, and then I did the other side as well. So this part here is done. You can also do this row here from the right side. This is how it looks here. Look how pretty you can see, like little scallops. You can also do it, like I said, from the right side, and it's going to look like this. So that would be up to you. So this here is all done. So now let me show you how to close here the crotch area. So we're going to go on the inside. I'm going to remove all of these stitch markers. We don't need them anymore. I'm going to start here from the center and I'm going to do one side. So I'm going to find the center here. Remember, we had 9 double crochets. We had 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 9 here. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So find the center. So right here, insert your needle there, insert once again, and I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to go stitch by stitch on this side and on this side, making sure that they correspond. And then just close this thing here. And this here is going to now close. There, tie a knot. Make sure you look. Make sure that you take a peek on the other side to make sure that it looks okay. I know it's going to be fine for me, so I'm just going to make a knot here. Now I'm going to cut my yarn, and now I'm going to go here on this side. We have some yarn that was left from when we did the legs, so I think this is going to be easier to close this in the center, or what you can do is just don't cut your yarn, just come back towards this way and then close this side. I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to find these stitches and join. Now there is no right or wrong way of doing this. The important thing is that you close this gap and just make sure that it doesn't come undone. There. I'm going to make a knot here. I can always hide that in afterwards. And let's take a look. Perfect. That's how it looks. It's absolutely beautiful. There it is. This is how it looks. Here's the back side. Here's the back and the front here. the buttons that I used 4, and these buttons are 10mm size. These are heart-shaped buttons. I purchased these from Hobby Lobby, and the buttonholes or the spaces in between the rows of half double crochets that we did here. So it's all done. So now let me give you the finished measurements. Okay, so from under the sleeve to the end of the leg, it's measuring about 35.5 centimeters, which is about 14 inches. From the crotch area to the end of the leg, it's measuring about 16.5 centimeters, which is about 6.5 inches. The total length from the top of the shoulder to the end of the leg, it's measuring about 47 centimeters, which is about 18.5 inches. Now, this measurement from the middle here of the neckline to the crotch area here, it's measuring about 24.5 centimeters, which is about 9.75 inches. Now the chest measurement, just the top, it's measuring about 25 centimeters, which is about 10 inches. So based on these measurements, this little romper is for baby boys and girls between 3 and 6 months old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger. I'd say from 0 to 3 months and up to 24 months. Now down here in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Now here's the matching little cardigan sweater that this little outfit goes with. So this is how it would go. Look how beautiful that looks. It's absolutely beautiful. Now I have the matching little hat as well in the information box below. I'll go ahead and leave the link to these tutorials as well, the little cardigan and the little hat. So I hope you like this tutorial. Comment below and let me know what you think. Now, as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box as well. Thank you so much for your support. Now, in another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the matching baby blanket, so stay tuned. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.